let's talk Canada. Again, weird juxtaposition between the president continuing to be, I would say hostile, but aggressive with Canada on trade, and continuing to hit probably the weakest, most sensitive part for the Canadians, while saying very nice things both in the room and afterwards and privately about Prime Minister Carney. So here is the money moment, number 5, please.
Get along very well. They like each other a lot.
Well, if I may, as you know from real estate, there are some places that are never for sale.
That's true.
We're sitting in one right now, Buckingham Palace that you visited as well.
That's true.
And having met with the owners of Canada over the course of the campaign last several months, it's not for sale, won't be for sale ever. But the opportunity is in the partnership and what we can build together. And we have done that in the past. And part of that, as the president just said, is with respect to our own security. And my government is committed for a step change in our investment in Canadian security and our partnership. And I'll say this as well, that the president has revitalized international security, revitalized NATO, and us playing our full weight in NATO, and that will be part of it.
That's true. And they have, I must say, Canada is stepping up the military participation because Mark knew, they were low, and now they're stepping it up, and that's a very important thing. But never say never. Never say never.
All right, and he said never. We couldn't hear it there. So Mark Carney is my college classmate, and I didn't know him in college, but I've learned since he's my college classmate. That dude's impressive. I got to say, find that dude impressive. So I don't mean to prejudice the jury. Beverly, you first. What did you think of that exchange, and what did you think overall of where we stand with U.S.-Canadian relations?
No, I think the new Prime Minister of Canada is extremely likable in his approach. I think anything is pretty much a step up from Justin Trudeau, who did not handle himself very well. And of course, Donald Trump did not like him at all. Neither did many Republicans. So the reasons why I thought he did really well, first of all, there was this back and forth of both of them praising each other. You do have the new Prime Minister coming from a real estate background, so there was a lot they could talk about. But he really threaded the needle, I think, pretty well of praising the president, but also being pretty firm. I think he's going to be a formidable person to negotiate deals with. And I think Donald Trump may have met his match with somebody who's going to go toe-to-toe with him. So I actually thought the prime minister handled himself really well. We're just going to have to see where it goes. But I thought it was very funny. You've mentioned this, Mark, as we were watching it, you saw that him mouthing never after President Trump said what he said. And another line he did check Donald Trump on, he said at one point that the United States or Canada is the largest client of the United States. So checking him on some of his trade knowledge. So I think it's formidable, and I think he handled himself well.
Steve.
I think we're 100% in agreement here, all of us. I mean, the guy was unbelievably impressive. His demeanor, his choice of words, his confidence, how he presented himself and how he handled Trump was extremely deft. I think this guy really has figured this out, and the substance will matter long term, but it's a great start for the prime minister.
I'm going to spend part of my evening watching Canadian news. For those of you who've never spent time in Canada, they're really interested in the United States. I remember one of my first trips to Canada. I got to the hotel and I went to the gym and I turned on the local news. It was a national newscast. It was like the equivalent of like Lester Holt. And the lead story that night, was the Regis and Kelly had just announced that day that they were doing a week of shows from Prince Edward Island or Prince William Island, someplace in Canada. And that was the lead story. And I said, well, imagine if the Canadian equivalent of Regis was going to do the show from like Hilton Head for a week. Probably wouldn't make the national news. And examples always stuck with me to illustrate the Canadians are super focused on the United States. And that guy, my college classmate, again, I wish I'd known him. I vote for him for president of the world. That guy just seems like a very competent guy, a good communicator, as Beverly said, very
leader
likable.
of the Democratic Party.
Yeah. You should make him if you think he could come to the United States and get path to citizenship. He's a super impressive guy. All right, one more thing. Here's the president in the Oval when asked if there's anything Carney could do to get the tariffs lifted, number 6.
Canada. Is there anything he could say to you in the course of your meetings with him today that would get you to lift tariffs on Canada?
No,
Why not?
just the way it is.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.